Hey guys, H-Town Lowdown here, starting up another podcast in the Wet Squirrel. I'm here with the host Jason Graves, Anthony Castillo, myself, executive producer Clayton Scott. It's a nice Sunday afternoon here, and we're ready to talk some sports. So guys, how's y'all's weekend been? Anthony, what you been up to?
Well, Friday night I did a whole bunch of nothing, which was actually kind of relaxing and pretty good. Yesterday I saw a great local band called the Wheelworkers. They're awesome. Check them out. You're not going to be disappointed. And that's pretty much it. Now I'm here hanging out with these three handsome gentlemen. And that's it.
Don't forget Jose sitting over there.
Yeah, there's Jose working awesome on whatever kind of computer crap that he does. But it works. It works for us.
Mr. Jason Graves, how's your weekend been?
It's been quite entertaining. Rough week at work, and then Friday I got very inebriated.
Yes, I love to hear that.
And then Saturday I recovered because I'm almost 30 and not 21 anymore. So it takes almost a full day for me to realize I really shouldn't be drinking like that anymore.
Well, that's why you got to train like me and just constantly drink. It gets easier the next day.
Easier the next day.
Well, guys, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to check out our website, htownlowdown.com. We do have a podcast posted, and this one will be posted shortly after. It's a new and upcoming website. Still a lot of work to do, but I think the progress is being shown clearly on the website.
Definitely.
Make sure you check that out. We also have our Twitter page up there. Follow us at htownlowdown. And our Facebook page is also on our website at H-Town Lowdown. Well, let's talk some sports. Let's get into it, guys. Anything on your mind?
All right, here's the big thing. We officially have the end of Dregate 2014. Dre is back in camp, baby.
I'm happy about that.
I am very happy about that.
Well, of course. I mean, he's our biggest offensive weapon. The thing is, though, I don't know how big of an offensive weapon he's going to be because honestly don't know jack squat about O'Brien's offense yet. I don't know what they're going to run. I hear that they're going to try to do more of a power running game. That's why they got Suafilo to run that ball. I mean, of course you have to with Ryan Fitzpatrick or Fitzgerald or some Fitz and something and his I'm inaccurate past 20 yards.
Well, I mean, the Texans, I think, will be all right. I've mentioned this on this podcast multiple times. When it comes to the offense, even though I'm not 100% sure if history says anything, Ryan Fitzpatrick will be the next Tom Brady and we'll go to the Super Bowl and win, right? I'm pretty sure.
I'm really hoping.
I'm just using the past to predict the future.
Already, just hey, as long as Fitzpatrick keeps his beard up, I think we could be all right. Be all right.
It's literal. The Astros are literally the only team that's lacking someone with a fantastic beard at this point. We've got Harden, the Fitzpatrick. We just need we need an Altuve.
No, we need to get Puma back and let him grow his playoff
Have
beard.
you seen Hunter Pence and his beard
or
recently?
Jeff Bagwell.
Hunter Pence has a nasty beard going on.
He's got a rockin' beard as well. I'm trying to go with the Hunter Pence as we speak. But
Hunter Pence? What?
Yeah, that was
remember
few years ago.
Yeah, man. What was that guy? Who was he?
He's doing great right now in Philadelphia. I wish we still had
San Francisco.
He went to Philly first. That's right.
Yeah, we traded him.
Did you know 16% of our current roster is due to that one trade that we got from Hunter Pence?
I did, and I didn't mention that in the last podcast. We actually think we did a call out to Jason asking him that, and he didn't know.
Hold on, we're going off topic. I want to go back to Dre.
All right.
We need, because Dre, he needs to be talked about. This is a big deal. We thought we had no idea what the hell was going to happen. I mean, I didn't know if he was going to miss out on training camp and just come back like the week before. He's saying like, "Oh, I was frustrated. I said this because, this is his third rebuilding. Yeah, obviously you have to. Of course, it's gonna mount up, and plus he never really talks to the media. And once Dre goes out and starts talking to the media, and he opens his mouth, it's weird because he never does it. He never does it. He's quiet.
He's never been that type of person, so it was a little nerve-wracking, but I'm happy to have him back in here. We weren't going to trade him. We weren't going to let him go. We were just going to go ahead and...
It was a Mexican standoff, basically.
It was a Mexican standoff that we won. Finally,
not to be
win.
racist.
We got to win.
Well, a report came out. He said that he didn't know what the new team was going to be like, with how the new coach was going to be. So O'Brien took him out to eat. They sat down and talked about it. O'Brien explained it to him, and Dre said he felt really better after that, and he felt more exciting to come back. And a report just came out saying that he's been working out, and he looks like he's in mid-season shape right now. And I think that tells you right away that, of course, he wasn't going to retire. He was definitely looking to play.
Well, I mean, he's a physical specimen.
And he's a veteran, so I think he knows it takes more for him to stay in shape than some of the younger guys.
He obviously has to start working out before J.J. Watt, because he's older. I mean, he's going to be 33.
You're still going to be able to pencil in Dre for 90 receptions and 120 or 1,200 yards. I'm sorry.
He hasn't shown a downside yet.
Yeah, so I don't see. I mean, he's 33, so he's up a little. But it's not like he's. I mean, if he gets 1,200 yards and 90 receptions and the obvious 4 touchdowns that he always gets, then I think he'll be fine. I really do.
What I'm wondering is, was it really all about the whole? I don't know the direction this team is going, or was it? Is it because he thinks that he's going to get cut after this year? That's the speculation that I've kept hearing. I keep hearing that he's worried about his money not being guaranteed. He's going to get cut, and I mean, I don't know. That's the thing. And now all of a sudden he's coming back and saying, "Oh, it was because of I didn't know how this team was going to be. I didn't know how the system was going to be." But I think it was 65% money, 35% not knowing how the team is going to go. And if that's the case, and what was the big deal? He was talking about he didn't get his $1 million workout bonus or something, and so that also frustrated him. I say put some incentives in his contract, saying, all right, you catch 60 passes, you recoup that $1 million.
I mean, he asked him if is there a way that I can make up that money that I lost, that $1 million, and the Texans told him no. And I agree with the Texans. He missed out. They shouldn't. They don't owe him that money.
It says in his contract, if you miss they're mandatory workouts, right?
Yeah,
they're mandatory. You don't go over there, then guess what? You probably got problems with your
It
job.
was the mini camp, right? It was the mini camp that he missed.
Yeah,
because OTAs doesn't really count against him because they're voluntary, air quotes, voluntary.
Yeah,
OTAs.
but they still expect you to be there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're voluntary, but they know.
I guess it is for the younger guys, but he's a veteran. I understand him not showing
up. Oh,
hell,
lots of veterans miss minicamp or OTA.
He is our franchise player, so I would like to see him maybe work in some kind of incentive for him to make that money back. Now, the Texans don't owe it to him, but since he is our number one guy, he's probably going to be the first guy the Texans retire.
Well,
he definitely is going to be.
I mean, David Carr is probably a consideration.
Nice.
I'm going to be there for that if David Carr is retired.
Or Matt Schaub. Maybe we get TJ Yates in our ring of honor.
Johnson is definitely the first one who's going to be retired.
When David Carr does his Hall of Fame induction ceremony, he's going to wear 2 gloves and he's going to have perfectly coiffed hair.
No doubt.
That's what I'm thinking.
And I'm glad Andre came back and was able to work this out, because he is going to be our first player to be retired as a Houston Texan. We don't have anybody up there in the Raptors as of yet.
But do you think – here's a question I always wondered. Do you think that – is Andre still the franchise player now?
Definitely.
I think it's JJ. I think JJ is taking over as the face of the franchise.
I don't think
I would say JJ is, but because he's more – I mean, he looks for the camera a lot more. He's been in the league.
Yeah, that dude knows how to kiss a baby.
All right,
that guy knows how to kiss a baby and pose with the troops.
Who would have the bigger impact this season if we lost one of them? If Andre's gone, is it a bigger impact? Or if we lose J.J. Watt, is it a bigger impact? Which one's the bigger? Which one's the biggest impact?
I couldn't even tell
say Johnson. Losing Johnson will be a bigger impact than losing J.J. Watt.
I would say
Johnson is still the best player for the Texans.
I'd say J.J.
That's hard. That's hard to tell because I don't know exactly how how he's gonna run his defense, and I don't know exactly how O'Brien is gonna run his offense. So I mean, once we actually see it, say we get 5 games into the season and one of them goes out, then we'll know exactly which one will have the greater impact.
Well, I think it's J.J. Watt's a Defensive of the Year candidate for the past 2 years. Yeah. J.J. Watt is, but Andre Johnson, as good as he is, and he's been great, Pro Bowl caliber. I mean, top 3 receiver?
Yeah, but if you look at it, the
most?
Texans have been sort of irrelevant in the past 3 years. Maybe not last year. That's one of the reasons why I think J.J. Watt won. The past 10 years in history, when Andre has been great, having all those Pro Bowl seasons, he hadn't gotten any publicity because the Texans just weren't that great.
Yeah, and he's always had crappy quarterbacks thrown.
Yeah,
So
but
I
I mean,
think
like the talent on the Texans from 2006 and the talent on the Texans from 2011 are vastly different.
They are.
And but I don't know. It's hard because you have now that you have this new scheme, and then you have Clowney in. Was the addition of Clowney, does that make Watt more important or less important? I mean,
I think it
who
makes
has the
Watt
bigger
better.
who has the bigger impact?
I think it makes Watt better.
Because of course they're going to double team Watt. That'll free up Clowney, or if they
Lewis
say
makes the third.
yeah, man, I love that big 350 pounds of just awesomeness.
Well, we're all excited. The season's just around the corner. I'm glad to have Andre back. And
What do you think the Texans are going to run by the end of the year? What's their record?
I'm hoping. I think they can get into the playoffs wild card. I think they can take the wild card spot. I'm hoping.
So you got what? What's your record?
With 10-6.
10-6.
Does that make the wild card?
I would say most of the time, yeah.
You never know. I mean, going into last season, we had so much upside for this team, and they come out and lose 10 in a row. Is it 10 in a row?
Okay,
last 12.
Last 12 in a row.
Who's
14. I apologize. Last 14 games.
That's even worse. I should have stopped at 10.
who's our
They did.
so the Colts are the definite, front runners
Favorites for
of
the division.
Are you sure?
I think Andrew Luck, you
Yeah.
have to go with Colts. And everybody thought when Peyton
Whatever,
Manning was
they got-
gone.
Jake Locker in Tennessee. Have you ever not thought about that?
Yeah, if he could stay healthy.
Well,
Come on, Jake Locker's due for a 20 touchdown, 20 interception season.
If that's the case, then Blaine Gabbert's been due for years, man.
And he's finally going to get his just as a backup in San Francisco.
Yes. Hey, who else was a backup? David Carr in San Francisco.
Fact.
Oh, I know we just can't wait. But you know what? I saw a preseason rankings for running backs. They have Arian Foster listed at number 7. How do you guys feel about that?
I'm surprised it's not lower.
Yeah, for your first opinion, your first thought is why isn't it lower? Last year he was ranked one of the top running backs in the league. Then he got his injury came up. So if he stays healthy, and they say he's looking really good in spring training camp right now, he looks healthy, he looks in shape. You never know. He could have a bounce back season. I know it's really hard for running backs to have those kind of bounce back seasons, but the veterans and the ones who are great and still in the league they're the ones who are able to do that.
The good news is it was a back injury. It's not a ACL or anything of that nature.
Knees or legs.
Or anything
I
of
think
that nature.
this season coming up will definitely define Arian Foster. If he's able to pull through and have a great season.
He's still young. He's, 26?
Yeah, but we know the average life of running backs is about
4 years,
3
yeah.
or 4 years.
Well,
so.
I mean, I'm saying, I think that ranking, he's ranked that high because I hear the whispers of how O'Brien's offense
no doubt.
to be that power running game
No
that they're.
Yes.
I mean, when you have Fitzpatrick as your quarterback, you're gonna look to running the ball first because you're not trusting that.
And
arm.
that's what Arian Foster has been great at his whole career. Those little shovel passes,
But the thing
little
is-
3-yard passes to Foster, and he takes 60 yards.
But here's the thing, though. What made Foster so great was that system that Kubiak was running. That one cut, that zone blocking.
One cut and go.
But how is he going to fit into this?
I think
I don't know exactly. So what? But they're not doing the zone blocking scheme. Is Arian Foster fit? Is he suitable for that kind of style? Or, I mean, because look at this. No one drafted him. He was on our practice squad. Kubiak picked him up because he fit that system. Then they cut him. He went through waivers. No team picked him up, and then he came back to us. So what does that say? That's a big concern of me right now.
I think most major running backs would have already been done with their career. But Foster coming back from this injury, if he can have a great season, I think it's going to make him stand out as one of the top future running backs.
If you have a good running game,
he's got the things around him to have a good year. He's got 2 receivers. He's got 2 receivers. One maybe a Hall of Famer, and the other that I personally think is going to be one of the better second-year receivers in the league this year. I also think that
plus the system is like real geared around the two tight end system.
Yeah,
that works.
Yeah, so he's gonna have. I'll go with capable of quarterback. He'll have 2 receivers that are decent.
Quarterback.
Yeah, game manager quarterback, 2 receivers. I'm thinking our defense plays well, so they'll at least keep us in games. There's nobody behind Arian Foster on the depth chart. I mean, what, Dennis Johnson? I mean,
no, we got the guy.
From
the Giants.
The Giants, right?
What the hell's his name? I forgot.
But, I mean,
he's always hurt.
Wilson? No, not David
he's
Wilson.
always hurt.
Yeah,
though.
he's
always
a big injury guy. He's not great. So, I mean, there's good things. There's bad things. I think he'll be fine. I just don't think he's number 7. I thought maybe top 10. To be honest with you, is a little bit of a stretch. There's a lot of really, really good young running backs out there that don't have history problems and haven't carried the ball for 1,000 years in the last 4 years.
I mean, if O'Brien's system is like what I hear is supposed to be ground and pound and then air it out. Well, not really air it because you can't really air it out with Fitzpatrick. But if that, the thing is, like, if he does not fit to this system, that's what my whole concern goes back to the whole Kubiak with the zone blocking and the one cut and go. I don't know what O'Brien's running game is like because, I mean, the Patriots, have you ever remembered the Patriots ever having a running game? Really? I mean, they got one kind of last year with LeGarrette Blount, but that's it.
I mean, they've always had a good running game, but they did more of a control passing thing because they had Tom Brady, and you got to play to your strengths. Tom Brady's strength is that he can read a defense real well and figure out where the correct person to throw to at the right time is. We don't have that here. So if you play that game, you're going to lose a lot. So, but I mean, I think overall we'll be fine offensively. I think defensively we're also going to be very good. I think we'll be fine. My big question, do you think Andre Johnson's a Hall of Famer?
He has to be.
I think he should be.
He has to be. I mean,
I don't know if he is though.
But look at
Chris
his numbers.
Carter hasn't joined the Hall of Fame yet, right? Or
the thing is, here's the thing about Chris Carter. Yeah, Chris Carter was a fantastic receiver. They're saying the reason Chris Carter hasn't been in the Hall of Fame yet is because he was always a dick to like the sports writers. And apparently the sports writers are just like the football writers are just like the baseball writers. If you're terrible to the media and you're mean, they're not going to vote for you.
But even then, I mean, I think it'd be a disservice to go ahead and keep Andre out, but it's a disservice the fact that they're keeping Chris Carter out, and I just don't know.
No, I think Carter should be in.
I think Carter should be in. There's just a lot of really good receivers that don't get in for a good amount of time.
Well, hell, Tim Brown still
I think
not in? I don't think he's in.
But if you look at the impact Andre has had on the city of Houston and the Texans, I think right there that warrants him for the Hall of Fame.
They don't factor
that in. They don't factor in.
He's been the number one player the franchise has ever had.
Yeah,
and he's been great in the NFL. He's been in the leading receiver.
You know what's
going to
hold him back? What's going to hold him back is his touchdown numbers. He's never had a double-digit touchdown season.
Yeah, they're going to say he can't score.
And that's not his fault. That's not his fault.
I would agree.
I think he's in the Hall of Fame.
Part of his frustration, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah, he's afraid that he's not going to go ahead and be a Hall of Famer because he continues to have average quarterbacks and he continues to have just a whole bunch of averageness when it comes to touchdown numbers and all that kind of stuff. It's sad, but I think maybe, I hope he makes it, but I don't know. It's questionable. I think he's on the line.
His abilities warrant him being in the Hall. His abilities to skill the game, the way he adapts. I mean, crap, he's been underthrown his whole career. Like, he's always been the guy that runs past and then has to run back to catch the ball. So his abilities warrant him getting a bust. But I don't know. I think he deserves to be in.
I think he does deserve to be in. But I mean, the Hall of Fame's so finicky, and like you said, the writers are similar to baseball in that sense. But what can you do? You know what I mean? But speaking of Hall of Fame, the Hall of Fame enshrinement just happened for Frank Thomas and Greg Maddux and Tom Glavine. If I'm not mistaken, Joe Torre, Tony La Russa, and Bobby Cox as well. They all made it. Congratulations to them. Shout out to H-Town Lowdown, except for Bobby Cox and everyone else who played under him.
In the 95 through 98 Braves.
Oh, that
They can
was
all
brutal.
suck it with their 3 foot outside the strike zone strike area.
Oh, that was brutal. What? I mean, what can you do? That's over and done
I
with
don't
now.
know.
Congratulations to all of them. But I thought it was really interesting the fact that Frank Thomas was able to get in, but
Don't start that with me.
But hey, look, I mean, I'm just saying. I would say Greg Biggio, I don't know if he deserves to be in right now. He definitely deserves to be in, but I don't know if it's current right now that he needs to be in.
Craig Biggio should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Are you
no
kidding
doubt.
me?
He definitely should have been a first.
Crazy. You know, Joe DiMaggio got in on his third try, or Lou Gehrig, or someone like that. Are we going to say he's better than those guys? A guy that only time made it out of the first round was whenever he was 48.
His standing and national standing for Major League Baseball, I think, warrants him, just like Dre, for a first round Hall of Fame ballot.
That's
the fact
crazy.
that Thomas got in on his first year of eligibility over Biggio is just asinine. It is bullcrap. The guy Biggio hit. You know, you get 3,000 hits, you're automatically punched in. You're automatically punched in. The guy won Golden Gloves at 3 different positions.
And that's great, but
How does a DH, just a guy that randomly patrolled first base from time to time, just basically just swung a bat for his whole career, how does he get in before?
Though.
How does he get in before Biggio?
Are you more upset that Biggio didn't make it, or that Frank Thomas did?
That Biggio didn't make it.
Well, then don't worry about what Frank Thomas's stats
Frank
are.
Thomas is not a better player than Craig Biggio.
It's not like they were going to switch him out anyway.
Frank Thomas is not a better player.
Frank Thomas was a good player. I was shocked he got into the Hall of Fame, but I would agree Craig Biggio deserves to get on there. First ballot, no, but I think he gets on there this year, and who cares what ballot you get on?
Well,
Does it really? There's no way he would deserve to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't care what
But
anybody
Frank
says.
Thomas is
Was this
deserving of being. This is his first year of eligibility.
Look, I said he didn't even. I was even shocked that he got in. To be honest with you,
Some of his stats, all right? Biggio, 20th all-time in hits, 5th all-time in doubles. All right, despite playing at positions not usually associated with his high offense, he led the league a few times in runs, doubles, and stolen bases.
I agree. I remember those times. I was alive then. I don't know what are we trying to prove here. What are we telling me by Biggio?
He should have been the first ballot.
First
ballot.
Or at least the second year.
Second ballot, you can make an argument. Third ballot's getting close to a travesty, but to say that you're a first ballot Hall of Famer, like I said, Joe DiMaggio, I think it was Lou Gehrig actually. Joe DiMaggio or Lou Gehrig got in on their third.
So on that argument, so Lou Gehrig or Joe DiMaggio, whichever one was not a first ballot Hall of Famer, you aren't pissed off that Frank Thomas is a first ballot Hall of Famer now?
Frank Thomas. I don't care. Look, congratulations to Frank Thomas. I personally don't care if he made it or not, though. Why does it matter?
Well,
all I care about is what Biggio did, and the fact that Biggio's not in there.
Argument against Biggio, they said, his last 8 seasons, he was just hanging around to get to 3,000 hits. They weren't very great. And his numbers in the postseason overall weren't very great.
They were
and
horrible.
They said, he got hit by pitches more than any other player, right?
I think so.
So they said that did help his on-base percentage. I mean, but
hell, I remember the year Biggio got the 40-40 where he got 40 doubles and 40 stolen bases.
And it was fantastic.
That's awesome.
He was a great player. He's a very great player. He's going to get in the Hall of Fame. But to go ahead and say that, that he's a first ballot Hall of Famer is crazy.
I think he should.
The fact that Frank Thomas is a first ballot Hall of Famer is still pissing me off.
Well, since they moved him back 1 year, I'm hoping he should get in next year. Bagwell is still on the ballot. I'm hoping we can see a Biggio and Bagwell.
The thing about Bagwell, I don't know if Bagwell's going to get in.
Bagwell eventually will get in.
I don't think so, man, because his vote count is declining every year. His first year was, 2 years ago? That was his first chance, and he didn't really get anything.
He just has to wait for a year.
And then the second year he got up there, and then this year he dropped down in votes. Once you start declining in votes when people stop voting for you, it's a bad sign. I think Bagwell's only chance to get in is going to be like 15 years from now by the Veterans Committee or something.
I think it depends on who you're going up against in the ballots. If you have these major league all-star players who are famously known, it's really, of course, their votes are going to go for those players. So once Bagwell gets in there in a ballot where the players aren't as big of names like Greg Maddux, I think he'll have a chance. I'm hoping I'm not sure who's going to be on the ballot next year.
No, see, I can
maybe
understand.
we can see a Biggio and Bagwell go in at the same time. That would be great for you.
I can understand Biggio if Biggio were to lose out to the Braves people, the managers. I can see that, but Frank Thomas takes his place.
Okay, just so you know, Frank Thomas was back-to-back AL MVP.
Oh, so what?
I'm just saying.
All right, well, Biggio,
he had 521 home runs, 1,700 RBIs. I mean, he was a very good player. I'm not saying he deserved to be first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm not even saying he was better than Biggio and a better pick, but I'm just saying he's deserving.
Biggio, 7-time All-Star player, 4-time Gold Glove winner, 5-time Silver Slugger winner. I mean, those are all numbers for a first-time ballot.
Yeah, how many times Frank Thomas won the Silver Slugger? I think he won it like 4 times, baby.
What does that have to do with it?
I think I'm okay with him not going. I mean, not okay, but I'll accept it. As long as he goes in the second round, that'll make me feel better.
Biggio is an all-around better player than Frank Thomas.
But he played outfield, he played second base, and he played catcher.
And he was fantastic. We're not debating any of that. We're debating Hall of Fame candidacies. He deserves to be in.
More than Frank Thomas.
Just like Frank Thomas.
He deserves to be in before Frank Thomas, though. That's my argument. That's the thing. I don't have a problem with Frank Thomas getting into the Hall of Fame. Yeah, he should be in the Hall of Fame. But not before Biggio. Not at all.
Well, guys,
is Biggio really that much better? I apologize.
Yeah, oh, come on.
He was pathetic in the postseason.
Are you asking that?
He was bad in the postseason. That's where you win.
He wasn't terrible, but
yes, he was. He and Bagwell were pretty atrocious.
Astros didn't go to the postseason very much with Biggio when he was playing. Not very much.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna have to disagree.
Hey, he hit better than Bagwell did in the playoffs.
All right, guys.
Congratulations.
Which isn't much.
What, barely passed the Mendoza line?
I hate you.
Great discussion, guys. Let's move on. Let's talk about our current Astros squad. Do you have one more?
No.
No, Jason's done. Jason's done because all he wants to talk about is he's got his Frank Thomas jersey on right now, and he's like, Frank Thomas. He actually is wearing a button that says, "Screw Biggio, Frank Thomas all the way, Frank the Tank."
Look,
big hurt. He's got the big hurt button.
When it comes to current Astros, they're really hard to watch.
They're
figuratively and in actuality.
Yeah, because you can't watch them at home unless you have Xfinity or Comcast.
Yeah, so I mean, and right now, Dexter Fowler, George Springer, who's our fun to watch. Both of them are in the DL. We really need them to come back and at least make our team relevant again. At least have something to look for. You know what I mean? It's so difficult to watch Matt Dominguez and Chris Carter carry your Houston Astros team. You know what I mean?
Oh, Matt Dominguez. Yeah, our great power hitting third baseman.
Look,
oh, wait. We don't have one of those.
Look, you know why? Okay, this is another big issue. That I have. We went ahead and failed. The last 2 years, our number one pick seems to be terrible. I haven't been able to talk about this. I'm glad I finally get this off. I don't know what Jeff Lunau's doing. I trust him for the most part, but I really think he screwed the pooch, as some people might say.
Are you talking about the Aiken mess up?
The Aiken mess up, Appel playing horribly. You know who we passed on? Chris Bryant, who right now in AAA is crushing the ball. A third baseman. Matt Dominguez is hitting 220. He's been terrible. It's just sad to watch our two of our three number one picks just play atrocious baseball.
I never agreed with the Appel thing.
Not atrocious baseball, but one atrocious baseball.
I don't think Appel was worth the number one pick at all.
I mean, I think
they just moved him up. They moved to
earlier today. They moved him to Double-A.
I'm hoping that the new scenery helps him out a little bit. We'll see.
Because clearly the high A ball's killing him. So
yeah, I mean, you have a 10 ERA. You have a 10 ERA in Single A. Single A. I mean, they say the best talent is actually in Double-A. Triple-A is just the guys that already have made it. They're just waiting to get called up. But I'm worried that Dominguez is like one of those 4A players. He's good like in AAA, up to the big leagues, terrible.
He's just not that
there
good.
Should be like a middle.
He's a good defensive player.
Oh, yeah, he's got a good glove. It's not
I mean,
bad.
to be honest with you, his power's not horrible, but you can't hit 230 and get on base 30% of the time.
Who was our last power-hitting third baseman? Oh, my God. Was it Morgan Ensberg?
Oh, you're right.
Oh, my
Chris
God.
Johnson. What about Chris Johnson? He had a streak. That guy's doing awesome this year. He's having a great season.
But he wasn't a good home
Not for us.
Ensberg had his moment when we went to the World Series. He was just sporadic, but after that was
No,
it.
he screwed up in the
It's
World
like
Series.
he took steroids for a few months.
He screwed up in the World Series because I remember watching the broadcast and they did a thing about look at how his batting stance has changed like through every game. Game 1, he had his toes on the outside. Game 2, toes were on the inside. Game 3, his toes were somewhere else. Ensberg was
they asked him. They were asking him.
Is he could only pull. If he couldn't pull the ball, he had nothing.
Yeah, they were asking him, Ensberg, what's your biggest success at hitting all these home runs? Well, because I'm stepping out. He has a wide open stance. So that clearly did help him, but not for long. He's not even playing anymore.
I mean, Morgan Ensberg was a good one-hit wonder, almost literally.
Yeah.
I think Morgan Ensberg was he was a pull hitter, and everybody can get those one pull hitters. But when it comes to the current Astros, I would love a pull hitter. All we got is Chris Carter and a whole bunch of double-A talent still. Jose Altuve is playing well. I don't know. He should get MVP consideration. I don't think he will because the Astros pretty much suck.
I think Clayton needs to go to the bathroom. He's holding up his hand.
Back to the Aiken deal. When I first heard this, I'm like, oh my gosh, we're screwed. After hearing Jeff Luhnow talk, we didn't lose the pick. Next year, we get the second round pick, and we still have that money. And the first round, we get the second pick of the first round.
We also have an antitrust suit coming our way against the players' union. Is it really that worth it?
We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen.
You're right. We could get another Mark Appel who's throwing a 9.74 ERA and high A ball.
That money's not. That money's going to go into next year's draft. We're going to have 2 picks in the first round. We'll get
we might actually have the first pick in the first round because if we keep playing the way we're playing,
the first and the second.
Yeah, it's not going to be.
I don't think that's ever happened before. Has it?
It's never happened.
Only
3 years in a row.
times where the first pick wasn't signed.
3 years in a row, a team has had the first pick each year, and that's been the Astros. But we didn't sign our first pick, so
making history, baby.
It didn't happen.
Stroh's making history.
Well, I'm really liking next year. There's really upside next year. We're not going to be the worst team in baseball this year, but if somehow we are, say like we are, and we get the first pick next year, that means we'll get the first pick of the draft of the first round, and we'll get the second pick of the draft to make up for this year. Then in the second round, we'll have our picks as well. And we have the money that we had from this year, plus the money that we'll have next year. It could turn out to be really great for the Astros.
As long as we have a better...
and the Astros aren't the first team to have this problem.
Horrible.
It does look bad
in this. You know that.
I don't remember the team, but it happened a few years ago. They had the first pick and didn't sign the guy.
No,
he had surgery and he's not even playing in baseball now.
It's only happened 3 times in the history of...
we look bad. We look bad, and it could come back to haunt us because if a player has an agent, are they really going to want to deal with the Astros after this? This is terrible.
They can't do a complete physical. So when they drafted this guy, they found he was healthy. They didn't find out he was possibly injured until his physical.
He didn't get injured.
You don't know that. His arm could have been injured. He could have had some torn cartilage in there.
No, he said that.
Of course he's going to say that.
They saw an abnormality in his elbow.
Ridiculous.
Well, obviously something's wrong. That's why they didn't sign him. He was a great pitcher, a great prospect, but we didn't sign him.
No, they were trying to sign him. They just tried to drop the offer.
They tried to drop the offer.
They tried to lower the amount of money.
the money and screw him out of money.
And now
we have a huge lawsuit coming our way.
And also now the kid might not his college eligibility might be screwed.
Yeah, and we lose the kid's college eligibility.
They said he could go to.
He might have to go to a JUCO to play so he could be eligible for the draft next year.
Well, so
it just looks bad.
It's a bad PR.
Talking about baseball, should baseball change the rules and have to have actual physicals? And maybe whenever they do make an agreement for a contract where they have to stick to that no matter what?
I think they should do pre-draft physicals.
I think if physicals were allowed before they drafted, then once you draft the guy, and offer him money, you have to give it to him knowing
I just don't
that you already have his
I don't
physical.
see why they couldn't give him the extra 1.8 mil he was asking for.
It was 1.5.
1.5 million. We gave Carlos Lee $120,000 or $1 million
He's making over $100,000
for
a game.
6 years.
But that was Uncle Drayton. And Uncle Drayton really just
Look,
was
$1.5
terrible.
million, we're like, no, we can't go ahead and sacrifice that. I'd rather go ahead and get 4 more Matt Dominguez's.
Yeah, they're trying to do this whole Moneyball bullshit. And
Well, while we're on this topic, and this is H-Town Lowdown, so we do get heated about our local sports
I
teams.
just don't understand.
We love talking about it and love debating about it.
The spat between, look, there's no doubt.
this subject ain't dying anytime soon. Jason's gonna make sure it's on.
This is a really bad PR move on all parts. I mean, this spat. I mean, don't get me wrong. This spat isn't as bad as what's going on with our basketball team right now with Harden and pretty much everybody not named Dwight Howard. It's a pretty bad spat. Harden calling all of our team or all of our teammates essentially role players outside of him and Howard.
They are role players.
I think he misspoke.
You don't say it.
I don't think he meant to say that. Yeah.
Look,
you just can't say that.
Look, I understand. Look, I understand where Harden's coming from. I'm around a whole bunch of role players over here.
Oh.
We're doing H-Town Lowdown.
Oh man!
But
you know what? You can go to hell, Dwight Howard.
Yeah, I got Dwight Howard over there, Mr. Jose Hernandez. Thank you, Jose.
Yeah.
But you don't say that you guys are just role players. First off, I don't even believe that's true. I really I've gone ahead and told the podcast this. I really like what Parsons brought to the table, and losing him, I thought was a horrible mistake. I understand that they would have to be their core if they wanted to go forward and blah 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 blah. But
do not deny.
I thought it was worth it.
Do not deny the fact that Harden and Howard are the cornerstones. They are the foundation of this team. They are the top
2 guys that we have on our
They are the foundation
team.
of this team.
Right.
They are the ones that when Morey is building this team, he goes, who fits with Harden and Howard? All Harden did was just, he stated the obvious. He stated the truth.
But you don't say it. You sound horrible.
But you know what? I think it's a spat between 2 lovers. I think it's 2 best friends that got into a heated, they got pissed off at each other, and so now they're just talking smack to each other.
Even if it is true, you don't say it. What about Terrence Jones or anyone else?
Oh, Terrence
What
Jones.
do you feel like? Oh, thanks for saying that I essentially amount to nothing. I mean nothing to your eyes. You can find me anywhere on the street.
Hell!
Why would I want to go play for that?
Hell! I play in a rec league team with you.
I would agree.
I know that I'm a role player. I don't have any problem with that. I know what I am. I know what I do. I do what I do.
Okay,
That's
and we
it.
do it
It
well.
doesn't bother
but no
me.
one says, Anthony, you're a role player. Okay, we only need you in whenever.
If somebody said that, it wouldn't bother me because I know exactly what the hell I am. I know exactly what I'm doing.
But I'm just what? It doesn't make
When Aaron Brooks has come onto this team for like the 3rd time or whatever, you know exactly what he is. He's a role player.
So Chandler Parsons a role player?
I don't think he's that 3rd superstar that he claims that
So
he
he's a role
could
player.
have been. He's a part of something bigger, but
So he's a role player.
yeah, basically.
I would say you're mistaken. I think you're wrong.
All the players under LeBron, are they all role players? What if Kevin Love
I have no idea.
goes to
Are they?
Cleveland? Are they role players? How many top players do you have to have for the rest of them to be considered role players?
I don't know. I'm on the side where any person could go ahead and be a superstar.
Okay, on the Heat.
Look, you have to have 5 role players on a team to win a game.
So
to win a championship.
Was Chris
They're
Bosh
all
a
role
role player?
players.
I think Chris Bosh was a highly overpaid role player on that Heat team. Now he's got to be the man.
I think you're incorrect.
I don't know.
I think you're incorrect on every sense of the word here. I really do. I think Chandler Parsons was extremely talented. I think we really needed him. I think
I do agree with you, Jay. I really think we need Chandler Parsons here, and I really like that guy.
I think Chandler Parsons would have been worth the money. I think he would have been an acceptable 3rd superstar.
I think his best is yet to come, and I think he's going to shine in Dallas. And, actually, I don't want to say this, but I kind of hope he does just to shove it in the Rockets' face, because what they did to him was kind of wrong. They told him, go out, find an offer, we're going to match it. Of course, they didn't expect him to get that big of an offer, but they still told him, we're going to match it.
It was all predicated on Bosch signing with us. That's the deal. That was the thing. It was all predicated on Bosch signing.
I understand that.
You could have still had him as an acceptable third role player. To go ahead and say Trevor Ariza is going to match Chandler Parsons' production, you're absolutely mistaken.
He did last year.
He was horrible when we had him.
Yeah, because
he was terrible.
But he was supposed to be the number one. He was supposed to be the number one guy for the Rockets when we got him.
He had Yao Ming still there.
And he wasn't. So
and we had Tracy McGrady, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't we have both
of those guys? McGrady was out with his, doing his 55th knee surgery or something.
I'm just saying, he wasn't paid to go ahead and be. He was paid to be a third superstar. He was thrust into the light and he wilted. He was horrible.
Do you honestly think that Chandler Parsons though is worth $16 million a year? That's the big question.
I think he's worth that.
I don't think he's worth it.
I think he is worth what third superstars get paid, which is right around the 15 mil mark.
Cuban did it, I think, just to hurt the Rockets because he thought the Rockets were going to sign him. I don't think he actually expected, but he did sort of, but to go out and actually sign Parsons. But now is Cuban actually thinking, maybe I regret this, paying this much money for this player?
I don't know. You know what? I'm fine with.
He's too busy out partying with Chandler Parsons.
Yeah, I'm fine with Parsons going. You know what? Because you know what? After a while, Chandler Parsons started looking more and more Dallas than Houston. God. I mean, he has that Dallas mentality.
Well, for him to come out and make those comments that he did after he left here, that is a Dallas mentality.
Yeah, what did he say?
He was hating on the Rockets, man.
Yeah.
You don't do that to the former team.
They told him they were going to sign him.
It was all based on the Bosch thing.
Okay, so you're saying, hey, I'm going to sign you, but then Bosch doesn't go through and be like, yeah, no.
The guy's looking out for himself. He's going to go where the money was.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with him making money.
He got a great deal in Dallas, and
I thought he was worth the 15 mil or however much you got. What is it, 3 years for 45 mil?
All I know is he's going to make more money than James Harden next year, and I don't think that is right at all.
Yeah, I think he's going to make like $1 million
less. Is James Harden really that big of a superstar?
For Houston, he is. Hell yeah, he is.
The guy doesn't play defense.
Well,
who plays better defense than James Harden? Me. I play better defense than James Harden.
We still got to the first round of the playoffs.
James Harden, if you want to go one-on-one, I'll shut you sort of down.
No, it's over.
I'm just saying, I might be able to score on you, all right? I've seen your defense.
Yeah, but he's faster than you. But by a hair.
The problem I have with Harden is that he's not a bad defensive player. It's that he doesn't try. He has zero willingness to even try to be good.
After all this publicity about his defense, I'm hoping he steps it up next year. He's more aware of it, that people are actually watching him now. Hopefully he plays defense. He played better defense in Oklahoma.
Oh, well, hell, once you get a YouTube video, man, about like your crappy defense, you're gonna want to step it up.
He's gonna step it up next year. He will. I believe so. Hopefully he does. We'll wait to see.
It's upsetting to see no defense being played. It's one thing to be a bad defensive player, but to not try is just a disservice, not only your teammates, but the fans itself.
That's what they said. He just has to try.
That's all we want. It's just to try. I know he's a good defensive player. In Game 6, he wasn't that bad of a defensive player. He got 4 steals. He actually looked like he was trying to play defense.
Maybe getting rid of Parsons and bringing Ariza in here, he realizes, well, we don't have a great team as we did last year, so now I need to step it up some more. So maybe now he'll start playing more defense, trying a little harder.
I don't think so, but hopefully, what do we got to lose at this point? Nothing.
Right.
So it's upsetting to watch James Harden play so lackadaisical and then call himself a superstar like he's indispensable. He's not indispensable. I would go ahead and trade him for a lot of people in this league that would be just willing to try.
For the Rockets, this year coming up, he's definitely indispensable. Right now, he is. Our current situation, he is definitely.
I would say
we cannot lose that guy.
Yeah, we can't lose him to injury, but to go ahead and say we can't trade him to put in some sort of package to Kevin Love, I don't know. I'd probably think about it. Would you go ahead and put
Kevin Love is injury prone. Kevin Love is hurt all the time. I think his stock is definitely a lot bigger than what it actually should be. He does, but he's always hurt.
At least I know this much. When he's out there on the court, he's not going to be a huge.
I think he's very overrated right now. I bet you he gets hurt again this season. Now, I can't obviously know that
Hold on,
for a fact.
hold on. He's not overrated. He's one of the best rebounders in the
When
league.
he's on the court and playing.
Yeah. He does get hurt every
That guy's
now and
a
then,
double
but
double.
He gets hurt a lot. He got hurt twice last year, right? He
He's
came back,
really,
then
really
went back
good.
on the bench.
At least he's not Andrew Bogut.
Yeah.
Ugh.
He's really, really good. Or Andrew Bynum. Oh.
Oof. Andrew Bynum and that hair.
Oh, yeah. What was that 19-year-old fro that he had going on?
It was so bad. And then he started parting it. Like, what the hell are you doing, man? Oh my god!
It was embarrassing to see. There's no doubt.
It was. Speaking of embarrassing, this whole Ray Rice thing.
Yeah.
What? Like
The league has dropped the ball.
it's embarrassing on Ray Rice's part. It's embarrassing on the league's part. It's embarrassing on Goodell. I mean, the backlash that has come out, and you know, it's rightfully so the backlash that Goodell is getting, that the NFL is getting, because I mean, a guy can get suspended for 4 games for just puffing on a joint, but a dude goes into the elevator with his wife and knocks her out cold and drags her out in 2 games.
It's bad.
Really?
It's really bad. And I don't know what was said during their little meeting that they had with Ray Rice and Ray Rice's now wife and the person that got beaten, sadly enough. But the fact that 2 games is just, I thought 6 bare minimum. I thought 8 should have been probably the correct suspension.
8 would have been one of those like, it's kind of harsh, but you know what? I don't have a problem with it.
I think you can't. I don't understand how Goodell, who's big on the integrity of the league, can allow something like this.
Yeah.
This is just. It's embarrassing for every party involved.
Yeah, Goodell's all about. He's always talking about, I want to upkeep the integrity of the Shield.
Yeah,
and this is where you're
supposed to shine.
You're supposed to show that integrity of the Shield. You're supposed to keep it up.
It's just bad on every party, and it's embarrassing to see. I mean, it's a bad situation. It's only getting worse.
I think it got lowered a lot because there was no criminal charges filed.
That's true. No criminal charges were filed.
His wife went
but there's a clear video.
Yeah, I mean, they go into an elevator, and next thing you know, like, he's dragging her out.
It's really bad
crazy.
On all parties. It's sickening to go ahead and. I don't know if you've seen the video, but it's just sickening. It's gross. It's not something that
I haven't seen it, and I actually kind of don't want to see it.
Don't. It's bad.
I'm good without not seeing that.
It's really it's tasteless. And like I said, I mean, the NFL just totally dropped the ball. They totally screwed themselves. They can't have no one else to blame.
I heard people saying stuff like, "Oh, Ray Rice just knocked out his wife," and he got 2 games suspended for that. Like, oh man, good thing he didn't take Adderall or smoke some weed, because that would have been 4 games.
Yeah.
And Kubiak, I bet you Kubiak's like, woo, only 2 games?
Yeah.
Thank God.
Well, they got a good back. I don't even think it was that big of a loss if he was out 8 games. Bernard Pierce back there is he's a talented running back. I mean, he's no slouch. It's not like you got me out there running back.
Yeah, also, it's Kubiak's offense. I mean,
so you can put anybody
Ray
back
Rice,
there.
Yeah, Ray Rice, he may or may not be that big of a factor in this offense.
I thought it was
it was a bad call. It was a bad call.
Real bad, and I mean, that's all I can really say about it. I mean, domestic violence is. I mean, it's unacceptable in every profession, much less profession that you're going to watch on television once a week and people look up to. He's a role model. I genuinely feel that he's sorry about this, but you've got to. If I was Ray Rice, to be honest with you, I'd go ahead and be like, look, I'm going to sit out another 4 games at least.
Were the cops called?
Yeah, were the cops called? Do you know?
Yeah,
I believe so.
The cops were called. The report was done.
Yeah, charges were filed, but then she dropped them. And then right after that happened, they got married. So in case it did go to court or something, she couldn't testify against him.
So he didn't go to jail?
No.
Usually when there's an altercation, the cops are called. Whether you want them to show up or not, they're going to show up. And if altercation did take place, you're going to go to jail.
Okay.
Whether you want to or not, whether the girl pleads, no, don't, he didn't mean to, you're still going to go to jail. but I guess his NFL status kept him from going to jail.
Yeah, it's really bad
And
on all parties.
she pressed charges against him at first. That's what you said.
I believe so.
Yeah, he definitely should have went to jail that night, but he didn't, obviously. So
It's
charges were filed. He should have been suspended more than 2 games. This is even with the Donald Sterling case. This was done privately. He didn't want it to get out there, but it did. Since it made public, yeah, he should be charged against it. But the cops weren't called in that case. This is completely different. I understand that. But since the cops were called, that made it a public event. He should be suspended more than 2 games. This is serious. If the cops weren't called and she just made an announcement, then I think it would be less serious. You know what I mean?
I mean, it might have been less serious, but they had video, and like I said, I mean, he admitted to it.
Whether they have video or not, being that the cops were called makes it a public record, and he should have been charged just from the cops being called. I don't agree with the suspension. I think it should have been longer. I think it should have been a lot longer than 2 games. I mean, just that the cops are called and a report was done on it.
Yeah,
that makes it a bigger story.
Yeah, it was a bad call on the league.
Yeah,
and Goodell has always been known as the guy that drops the hammer on everybody. And then this happens, and nothing.
What is Goodell benefiting from only suspending him 2 games? Is there a ratings issue, a money issue?
Would go back to
has to be a reason on his thinking on why he only suspended him 2 games.
This would go back to my dad's weird theory that every sports game is rigged, everything is rigged. It's because now the Ravens are going to be in the Super Bowl next year. And it's like, we need Ray Rice, so the Ravens are supposed to be in the Super Bowl. This is not my theory. This is my dad's theory.
Yeah, but if you look at analytically something behind it, there's a reason why Goodell only suspended him 2 games.
Well, like I said, I don't know what was said in their little meeting. The wife said, things are happening. I do believe he's remorseful. 2 games is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think 2 games is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, hell, you smoke a joint and that's 4 games. I mean, you knock somebody out, you knock your wife out, and 2?
I don't even care about the video. Just the fact that the cops are called and he was pressed charges against. That enough right there warrants for how many games? How many games should he's been suspended to make you happy?
I'd say 6 to 8. Yeah.
I would have been satisfied if he said the whole year. You can't.
I mean, say like this was. You only have 16 games, or with the bye, 15 games, right?
Well, hell,
16 games.
Josh Gordon is out.
Say like this happened in baseball, 163 game season. Say like a Mike Trout did this. How many games should he be suspended if it was in baseball? To make him.
It would be 81 games if Mike Trout. I mean, if it was equivalent, if we did the equivalency. Even then, I wouldn't be upset if they suspended him for the whole year. You can't go around beating women. It's that simple.
Yeah. Well, there's so many games in baseball. You only have 16 games in football.
81 games, that would be a huge impact. 2 games for an NFL season isn't that big of an impact.
Well, hell, you get busted in baseball for PEDs. That's 50 games.
You don't put your hands on women. Women are not as strong as men, and you just don't lay your hands on them. They have no defense against the man. You just don't lay your hands on women. Everybody knows that.
I mean, it's quite frustrating. What can you do?
If the video wouldn't have came out, I would say 2 games. That's still a little low, but maybe 2 games. If only the NFL knew about it and the media got a hold of the public records. But since the video got out with it as well, that definitely requires more than 2 games.
And this was months before, like the sentence just got the suspension just got dropped down a couple days ago, and this was months before. I mean, it took them that long, and then also. I just don't understand the NFL's way of. I don't understand Goodell of what he's doing. He's always been I'm not going to let this happen. I'm not going to let this stain my league. And Josh Gordon is facing like a year suspension because he got caught 3 times with a positive drug test.
There's a lot of different things going on with Josh Gordon. I mean, don't get me wrong. It might be. I don't agree with Ray Rice's suspension, but that's irrelevant to Josh Gordon's case.
I don't know.
I can only say that much. Well, I mean, but what can you do? All the decisions are final. You can't really take them back. So that's pretty much it. But
I want to lighten some things. This is a heavy, sad topic that we're talking about. I just kind of want to
lighten the mood a little.
Yeah, lighten the mood.
Give you a feel-good story. Yeah.
And this is the most feel-good story for me. So there was the Hall of Fame induction this weekend. John Rocker, the controversial relief pitcher for the Braves back in the 90s, hey, I'm John Rocker, man. Hey, what's going on, man? Mm-hmm. He's in Cooperstown, or he was. I don't know if he's still there.
That's what he sounds like?
He sounds a little bit like this, probably. I don't know. But he was in Cooperstown raffling off 10 people could win a night to go out drinking with John Rocker. I would love to win this raffle. It would be amazing. I would probably end up in jail at the end of the night. But you take that when you go to hang out with John Rocker. I mean, you take that chance.
The risk.
You take that chance. It's kind of like, those dumbasses that you see, like, putting their heads in gators' mouths? They're holding up they're holding open an alligator's mouth and they're putting their head in there. You take the chance of that alligator snapping down on your head. That's what you do when you go out and drink it with John Rocker.
Amen.
And then the picture here is him. He's got like a table set out like set outside a bar or something, and he's selling T-shirts that just say "Speak English." Oh my God, this guy! This is the backstory of John Rocker. When he got traded to the Mets, do you remember the Sports Illustrated article? They were talking to him about what's it like living in New York, and he's like one of those pro guns, he's a good old boy. And they were asking him, what's it like living in New York, like being from where you came from and what you believe in? He's like, well, being on the subway, I see kids with like purple hair and some gays, and he's just, I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
He made very derogatory remarks.
It's terrible the things he said, but it's hilarious because you can imagine that coming out of his mouth. And I'm saying is
now that he has this little raffle,
come out drinking with John Rocker.
I'm not sure how,
but Speak English T-shirt.
I'm not sure how, but I'm gonna find a way to get in that raffle. All right.
I think it's over, and I think John Rocker's in jail already.
Well, that brings you Anthony's Feel Good Story of the Week, brought to you by HTownLowDown.com. Jason Graves, what's your Feel Good Story of the Week?
I got really no feel good story. Just I'm excited to see that Dre's back. The Texans are whole again. I'm excited for the season. Next Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, is the Hall of Fame game.
Yeah, we'll actually see some football.
Bills and Giants?
Cowboys not this year? No Cowboys? Sorry.
Oh, come on, man, with your Cowboys
we
love.
Get it. You love the Cowboys.
I thought the Cowboys were in every Hall of Fame game.
I apologize, H-Town Lowdown. If you want to turn it off right now, I am more than welcome to.
Cut it. We're sorry that our air quotes again, executive producer is
such a Cowboys fan.
Is such a Cowboys fan.
If you do anything about putting up making web pages,
we'll gladly replace you.
That's all.
We'll gladly take you and replace Clayton.
I think Jose has already done that. He's building.
You're done. You know what? You're fired. Clayton. On air, we fired Clayton right now.
This is our feel good story segment, and this ain't a feel good story. Jason, finish your feel good story for us.
That's it,
Andre. That's it.
Andre, my feel good. This football's about to start.
My feel good story of the week is Jose Altuve. This has been an all season thing, but this guy is great right now, isn't he? He had 2 more hits today. He's leading the majors in hits. He's having a fantastic season. Now, I wish he was on a better team with a better record and hopefully going to the playoffs. It would be more, publicly.
He was
more public. Everybody would know about it. I mean, he's kind of hiding in the shadows.
Yeah, I mean,
with the Astros.
If he were doing the things he were doing right now, like on the Yankees or the Red Sox, of course he's going to get national pub. But I mean, you're on a last place team, the team that has had the first pick in the draft for the past 3 years, and then also did the foible of not being able to sign one of those draft picks. It's hard to get national love.
Regardless, that's still my feel good story of the week.
It is nice to see that he's playing well.
At least we had somebody good on the Astros.
But he's been on a decline since the All-Star break. Also.
No, he is not.
It's only been a couple weeks though.
He hit a walk-off home run today. The first at bat, another home run. To open up the game.
Walk-off home run?
Not a walk-off home run. He opened the game with a lead-off home run. There we go. I had it back. That's my feel-good story of the week. Jose Altuve.
That's our Dallas producer right there.
If you haven't been to the Astros game yet this season, try to get out there and watch them. Watch Jose Altuve, and Springer should be coming off the DL soon. We hope quicker rather than later. We definitely need that guy back.
Yeah, we need him back.
But
The energy he provides to the club is just you can't measure it.
It's a beautiful ballpark. Going out to a game beats nothing. It beats everything.
Oh yeah, I love
being there live, watching the game live. It's great. It's a great feeling. And we can't really watch them on TV unless you have Comcast. I try to listen.
Comcast, you suck.
Try to listen to every game, and I feel like listening to baseball on the radio is so much better than watching it on TV. You hear all the stats, you get to hear all the names, and you learn so much more. It's much more.
I wish the Astros would incorporate like an old timey play-by-play guy. Like, here comes Altuve after the play.
Milo Hamilton. Holy Toledo.
Holy Toledo and putting Becky and Berkey and just put a Y on the end of a last name.
That guy is great, and I'm gonna miss him forever. I really do miss hearing his voice every day.
There's Cammy coming on. Oh, I'm drunk.
It's pretty. I am sad to hear Milo not do games anymore. It's pretty upsetting. But
he is old.
It's what it is. He's old.
He's like in his 90s now. He's still going.
He deserves some sort of.
He still does a lot of work.
I want to give a shout out to Jose Hernandez over there, like busting ass in front of a $4,000 computer, building a website. He's either building a website or he's looking at pictures of girls in yoga pants. And you know what?
50-50.
Yeah, but the thing is, if he's looking at pictures of girls in yoga pants, I'm not mad at him. But if he's building a website, I'm not mad at him either. It's great. I love it.
Well, hopefully he builds a website full of yoga pants on our page.
You know what? Yeah, Jose, put a girls in yoga pants page. Like a little tab
section. Yeah.
Here's our girls in yoga pants tab of the day.
Host Jeremy Dennis couldn't be with us tonight. He's out, I guess, entertaining a WWE employee. Is that what he told us?
No, his one of his best friends.
One of his best friends that works for the WWE. He's hanging out with him. So.
Yeah, one of his good friends lives up in New York. He went up and he was one of the groomsmen in his wedding. He lives in New York. He works for the WWE, and there's Raw here tomorrow night. Monday Night Raw it's going to be tomorrow night at Toyota Center. And
he's excited about that.
I don't know. I stopped watching wrestling a while ago.
Oh, ever since it changed from WWF to WWE.
No.
Yeah, that's when I stopped.
I don't know.
When Stone Cold
I was always a WCW fan.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, that was my guy. Right?
Sting was my favorite wrestler in the world. But he's out there having dinner with his friends, and we just want to give a shout out to Jeremy, man. We miss you. We love you, and we're going to see your ass back. You better be there.
Well, guys, we're working on our blog post right now. We actually have a blog site up right now on our website. If you click on it, you can click on a link to our blogs and read about our blogs.
We're going to be starting that this week.
We're working on updating it. We do have one blog posted right now. Just go ahead and give it a look, and thanks for tuning in.
What are you guys' blog going to be a
whatever.
Just current issues of the week, whatever you decide.
Oh yeah, I know this is a sports thing, but I'm kind of thinking about turning my blog into exposing bands and things like that, because I'm really into that. I really love music, and so I just want to expose bands and stuff to people. So it's my blog. I can do what I want.
That just means more views for me, Jason, and Jeremy. So go right ahead.
I don't know about
this
you.
This is a sports station, not a radio station.
I don't care.
All our cowboy fans will be watching your blog.
Yeah,
both of them. Why don't you go ahead and grow out your long hair again?
Oh man, I miss my hair.
Guys, please look at our webpage. Give us any kind of comments or concerns, questions, things you want to see, things you don't want to see, whatever you like. Please just let us know. We are one of the people. We are trying to make this show better for y'all. So please, any kind of assistance that might help us, just all you got to do is let us know.
Comment.
Email us, call, comment, whatever.
Comment on our Facebook. Let us know what you want to hear, what you want us to talk about. We're just gonna cater to y'all.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. We love the fan base. Who's here listening to us?
Every listener that listens.
Every one of y'all. We love y'all.
Every one of y'all.
Yeah, don't forget, go to our website, htownlowdown.com. Click on the podcast link. You can listen to our podcast.
The blogs will be up this week.
It'll
so
bring you
things you can do.
You click on it, and it's a YouTube link. So go ahead and leave your comments under the YouTube link, and we'll answer that. And there's also a comment section under our website. You can actually leave a comment, and it'll email us directly, and we'll respond to that on our podcast.
Thank you very much. I also want to go ahead and point out we do have future things coming up. Once the football season hits, we're hoping to have 2 shows. A H-Town Lowdown where it's me, Jeremy, and Anthony, and then a midweek show with Clayton and one of the creators.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to have that up. Therefore, more podcasting, more things we could talk about. So we got big plans coming up. We're also hoping to make this a little bit bigger and have something where we can stream live to where you can actually call us and stream live with us while we're doing the podcast. So we got a whole bunch of we got a whole bunch of things coming up. We appreciate any and all comments you give us, even if they're bad. If they are bad, direct them towards the person they are. I know it's Anthony, but that's not the point. But I'd like to thank you guys. Appreciate it. Do y'all have anything to say? No one.
I want to let somebody get some airtime in. Say hello, Jose. Just say hey and thanks for
our IT guy and our assistant executive producer.
Hold on, let him talk. Say hi, Jose.
Is there anything you'd like to tell the people?
Don't do what Donnie Don't Do does.
I don't know what the fuck that meant.
How do you feel our show went today?
It's all right.
It's all right. All right.
I love his confidence.
Great commentary by Jose.
I want Jose. Jose, next
Clayton,
time.
you have anything to say?
Next time, wear yoga pants.
Hey guys, if you're interested in being on our show, let us know. We're doing our podcast right now, just about every Sunday. We're trying to incorporate 2 shows a week. Let us know if you have any interest, and you can do a call in, and we'll get you on the show, put you on the podcast.
Thank you very much, guys. If y'all have anything else, please let us know. Y'all have a good night.
Y'all guys have a great week, and we love you, Houston. Take care.